Guys, I am sitting here at my kitchen table surrounded by knives. Right now, I am the happiest man in the world. I got big ones. I got big ones. I got small ones. I got in-betweeners. I got safety knives. I got expensive knives. And I got cheap knives. And I have everything in between, right? So let's talk about knives, right? Let's talk about knives for bushcraft, and let's talk about knives for survival. Let's talk about knives that would suit you if you want to get started. Let's talk about knives for the absolute, to be the absolute best bushcrafter in the world. Let's see what knife you need. Stay tuned. Yes, guys, I have a table full of knives. I'm going through knives from my school, and I'm giving them a sharpen and just giving them a general clean up, because some of them have they've been winterized, so they've been down in a box in Red Branch for the winter. So some of them just, a lot of them are high carbon. They have little bits of things like this, okay, and different things. So I just thought I'd talk through some of them. I talked through some of the common questions that people ask me in relation to knives. This is the thing. So people would say to me, what is a good knife to get for my child? Okay, something like that, if their children are into bushcraft or getting into bushcraft. And most of the guys I'm talking about are around 10, 12 years of age, that sort of thing. Okay, so there's a lot to choose from out there. So what I would say is that if you are worried about them injuring themselves with the knife, okay, one of these Hultafors safety knives is an excellent piece of kit, guys. I'm hoping it will focus because the camera's quite far away. Is an excellent piece of kit, guys. They have this plastic molded handle, which is grippy enough, but they also have a rounded tip as well, and they come with a decent enough Mora type, plastic sheath. You know what they look like. They're all sitting away over there. So, guys, and here is the tip, right? There is no tip. If you go looking for a bushcraft knife and you type in bushcraft knife into Google, right, this is not going to come up. This is not going to come up. You might get a Mora come up, okay? But if you go and type into Google Hultafors safety knife, it will take you, instead of to a bushcraft store, it will take you to a hardware store where you can get these knives. I think this safety knife cost me 5 years ago approximately £2.50, right? You step it up a grade, and this is the Hultafors heavy duty knife, okay, which is very, very similar in construction to the Hultafors OK knife, except it doesn't have a nice handle and doesn't have a coated blade. These are £4 each, right? And it's quite a thick blade, maybe 3mm thick blade, okay? Right, so for the budget option, for the beginner, because this is the thing, they're going to trash these knives, they're going to lose them, something's going to happen to them. If it costs you £2.50, it doesn't really matter. And of course, guys, £2.50, £4. I'm going to say that this one here was maybe the guts of £5 to £6. Okay, now this one is a step up, whereas this one has a rubberized handle and is quite comfy to hold, similar to the Hultafors outdoor knife or the OK. So they are what I recommend for a beginner. Okay, people will say to me, Wally, what's the best survival knife? Guys, the best survival knife is the one that you have when you're in a survival situation. People will say to me, what is the best bushcraft knife? I don't have a clue, okay? The best bushcraft knife to me is the one that I like using, right? They come in all shapes and sizes. You've got your big huge chopper, your big huge condors, you know, 6mm thick. It's a beast. Everything about this is a beast. But it's not something that I really enjoy using, right? I'm not into big knives. I have a few of them, but I'm not really into them, okay? The same with, this is the Chris Kane companion knife. Okay, now this is, for me, this is a much better shape of a knife. I like this belly on it better. But this is also not a knife that I use very often. Okay, so my most used knife, absolute most used knife, is the Spyderco Bushcraft UK. All right, but this is a 200 and something pound knife. I'm going to say between 200 and 230 pound, wherever you can pick it up. You know, so that is outside of a lot of people's budget range. But this for me is the best bushcraft knife. It is, because I love using it. It fits beautifully in the hand, and anybody that has one will tell you that this is probably the most comfortable knife that they've ever held in their hand. Okay, I absolutely love this. Coming in second at the minute is, and I've been using this a lot, guys, and that's the BK62 from K-Bar. Okay, I really like this as well, and this is not what they would call your standard bushcraft knife, because it doesn't have your Scandinavian grind. It's a flat ground, nearly flat ground. I'm going to say there's a secondary bevel on this from sharpening it today, guys. Do you know what I mean? And it is quite narrow in the handle. Let's put that up against that. Okay, see the difference? Now, another little knife that I was playing with today is actually Lily's knife, handmade in England. I can't remember who made this knife for me. And I give Lily this knife. This has got a rosewood handle, and it has the red liners, and it actually, this little thing right here that you can see that the camera will not focus on, is the Red Branch Bushcraft business label laser etched onto the blade. And this is a lovely knife. This knife, I picked this up today because I was doing knife skills with the kids down at Red Branch, and it actually probably hasn't been touched in maybe a year, and it shaved a big. It was shaving sharp. Okay, so guys, this is it. You're buying a knife for your child. Think about what children do with stuff. Okay, they lose it, they break it, they leave it outside, it's left in the bag, it's wet, it's covered in rust, something like that. Okay, so don't be going looking at super expensive knives. Even I would be looking at anything under 15 quid. Okay, anything over that I think would be too expensive. Okay, if you're worried about safety and stuff like that, these safety knives, you know, they're not going to be able to stab themselves too much. You know, you're talking about probably the same stabbing equivalent as a flathead screwdriver. As for the best bushcraft knife in the world, guys, it's whatever one you like using the most. Or there's no such thing. Guys, every knife has its properties, you know, and every knife has its uses and its misuses and all that there stuff, you know. So, you know, some knives are thin in the blade, some knives are thick in the blade, you know. So they all have their uses, guys. Every knife is different, and every knife is designed for a different purpose. Okay. I would have said back in the, you know, last year I would have said, oh, you need a Scandinavian grind for bushcraft, but that is not, as your skill set progresses, that is not necessarily the case. Okay, you can do a lot with a flat ground knife, you know, if you know how to make other things as well. Yes, a big thick 4mm, 4.5mm Scandi ground knife is going to split wood open quicker and stuff like that if you're battening and all. Yes. But if you can make wedges and stuff like that as well, you can still accomplish the same thing. So guys, I hope that helped some of you, and I hope I didn't get carried away and ramble too much, because knives is something I could talk all day about. I actually have a big box of knives here. These are all my knives, and these ones here are actually my school knives, so there's a lot of different stuff in there, and I just thought that I would give you guys my opinion on it, and it might help you out somehow. Thanks for watching. Stay rambling. No, Frosty. I'm not even sure what I was talking about. Knives!